Hi everyone, this is Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop. I'm going to do another video. How are you all? There are people outside. There are people outside looking at me like I'm some sort of weird thing. I guess they've never seen a fortune teller in a red room before. So in this video, I actually wanted to continue my series on the crazy Karen clients. And I have another story that I want to tell you. So when I was in my Erskineville store, one day I had a client and I was doing this reading for this client, and suddenly this woman barged in the door, another potential client. So I was with a client, someone else barged in the door, and she looked at me and I looked at her and my client looked at her as well. And I said, "Oh, hi." I said, "I'm just with someone right now. Would you mind coming back in about 10 minutes? I'll be finished by then." And she said, "Oh, okay." And she said, "That's fine." And then she went. So I continued with my reading that I was doing in front of me, and then that finished and that client went, and then this lady came back. Now she was quite a well put together lady. She was very attractive, long hair. She looked a little bit like Melania Trump, but an older version of Melania Trump. She had the long nails, she had the jewelry. She was very well dressed. So she sat down and we started the reading. Okay, and I asked her, what topics would she like to talk about, and she said relationships as well as work. So I said, okay, let's look at relationships first. So as I started to read the cards, I could see that there is a man in her life, but I also could see that this man had a woman and also a child. So I said to her, this man that you're interested in, he has a woman with him or around him. He may be divorced, but he seems to have a strong woman still in his life. She did not confirm or deny that. Okay, and then I looked a bit further in the cards and I could see that there was a child, and I said, I think he has a child and it's a boy, because I could see there was this very proud male father figure type of man in the cards. And I said, does that make sense to you? And she said yes. So after going through the reading, going into the reading, we're about halfway into it. So it was an hour reading and we were about, say 25 minutes into it. I said to her, does that make sense to you? There's a male, he has a woman attached to him and also a child. And she confirmed that this was correct. She said that this man is married, but he's going to divorce his wife. Now, this reading happened in January. Okay, this was January 2000, and I think it was maybe 2016. Okay, and it was January time, and I said to her, look, I'm not seeing this man leaving his wife. I just do not see that happening. In 2016, I said he will not leave his wife. She said that I am wrong. She said that he promised that he's going to leave his wife by the end of the year. So in 2016, it was January when she was with me, and I said to her, he will not leave his wife in that year. And we started getting into an argument. She started arguing with me. She started saying condescending things to me like I must be stupid, or I don't know what I'm saying, or I don't know how to read cards. So we got back and forward into this kind of argument. And I said to her, listen, I've been reading cards for 30 years. I know that this man is not going to divorce his wife. I said, I wish he would, if he's unhappy. If he's unhappy with her, then that's great. I mean, he should divorce his wife. But I said he won't because of the child. And I said, I would love to tell you what you want to hear because it would make my job easier. You'd pay me and you'd be happy and I'd carry on with my day. I said, but I'm not going to lie and I'm not going to sugarcoat the cards just to make you happy. I said, I'm predicting that this man will not leave his wife in 2016. And I said to her, also, I don't think he will leave her even after that, but I'll say 1 year at least, okay? And she said that I am unprofessional, that I'm arrogant. She called me all sorts of names, right? I said, that's fine. I'm reading your cards and this is what I see. I said, let's do a deal. I said, let's do a deal. If in 2016, this man leaves his wife and is either divorces her or even just leaves her, I said, I want you to come back and I will give you a refund, a full refund, and I will put a sign on my shop saying that I'm a fake. I said, that's how strongly I believe that he will not leave his wife. I said, I will make a deal with you. If he leaves his wife, I will refund you and I will put a sign on my door saying that I'm a fake, that I'm a scammer. She said, I'll see you at the end of the year. I said, okay, I'll see you then. So what happened was, she paid and she left. And she was such a frustrating, argumentative client. I was so, I had to go and have a shower afterwards because I felt so I don't know, just horrible, So anyway, got over it as you do in this industry. You have to kind of move on, you have to carry on, you have to get on with it. So she left, she sort of left. Oh yeah, as she was leaving, she said I made her very unhappy. And I said to her, my job is not to make you happy or unhappy. My job is to tell you what I see in the cards. I said, my motivation is not whether you are happy or unhappy. My motivation is to read the cards as correctly and as clearly as I can and deliver that information to my clients. To which she was fobbing me off and, being all sorts of disrespectful, let's put it that way. Okay. So anyway, she was gone. Glad to see her go. I was so glad that she, just over with. And it was an hour reading as well, which is a lot. Imagine arguing with someone for an hour, pretty much. That's how it was. It was like a power struggle, argument, back and forward, Anyway, so that was done. She was gone, kaput, goodbye. So fast forward to the end of 2016. So I'm sitting in my shop and I'm just, gazing out the window. I wasn't busy at that time. And lo and behold, I see her parking her car across the road. So I'm like, oh my God, what should I do? Shut shop and pretend I'm not here? Anyway, she gets out of her car. I see her car door open. I see her legs get out with her high heels on. She's trotting, she's coming out. She's all Melania Trump looking, right? So if you imagine Melania Trump in tight jeans. Anyway, she crosses the road and she comes to my door. And I look up at her and she says, hello. And I say, hello. I'm expecting a fight, right? I'm expecting her to say, you're wrong, I want my money back. She said, I have an apology to make. And I said, oh, okay. She said, you were right. He didn't leave his wife. And she was quite sad, I could see that she was quite impacted, And of course I don't want to see people divorce, but if they're unhappy, it would be better if he was unhappy with his wife to divorce, right? That's how I think. And, be with this woman that he's more happy with. But, he didn't leave his wife. And it was because mainly of his child. He had a teenage son. And I think he just didn't want to leave at that time. The boy was in high school. It was just an awkward time. So he just preferred not to leave his wife. So this woman apologized. Now, I was hoping that she would apologize and just go, because I just did not want to have round two with her. right? I wasn't that lucky. She said, can I have another reading? Now, I have a pact with the cards or the higher self that if someone genuinely asks me for a reading, I cannot say no. Like if they're genuine, even if I don't like them or don't enjoy their energy or whatever, I have a pact that if they're sincere and they ask me for a reading, that I have to do it, okay? Because it's not up to me, it's up to their guide as well. So anyway, so she asked me for another reading and I was dreading the thought. And she sat down and we started looking at the cards. Now, this was a whole different situation that was about to unfold. When I did her cards, I kept seeing her meeting another man, which was great. But the problem was, I could see that this was going to happen through the internet. And I was using tarot and Lenormand. And for the Lenormand readers out there, I kept getting the birds and the stars, which means the internet, right? I got it like 3 times. I did it like 3 times, and I got the birds and the stars, the birds and the stars, man, bird, stars, man, bird, stars, man. So I said to her, look, I see you meeting another man, a good partner actually, but it's going to happen through the internet. It's going to happen through a dating app. Now this woman, she's in her 60s, very well kept woman, right? Gorgeous, sweet lady, turned out later. What do you think she said when I told her that you're going to meet someone through the internet? What do you think her reaction was? It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't a reaction that, was easy to receive. She basically said, no way, there's no way she's going to go and date on the internet. She's an old-fashioned girl. She likes the old-fashioned way. There's no way she's going to meet someone on the internet. It's not going to happen. So guess what? We argued for another hour. It was pretty much it was about 40 minutes of arguing, okay? Because the first 20 minutes was me establishing the reading. And then once I established it, the next 40 minutes was about her and me arguing, right? I said to her, you're going to meet him through the internet, you're going to meet him through social media, through a dating app, that's how you're going to meet him. She was like, no way, there's no way, there's no way, there's no way. So we basically argued for say the hour, 40 minutes, right? So by the time this second reading with her, round 2 with her was done, I was so glad that it was over, and I needed to go and have another shower afterwards, right? So she paid and she left. So now it was 2017. So I think probably a few months went by, maybe 2 months, and I see her again. She's parking her car again, and I'm thinking, oh my God, I don't think I can handle round 3 with this woman, right? So I said, I see her coming to my shop, and this time she had another woman with her, okay, younger lady. So she comes in, she says, hello, and I said, hello. I was like, oh no, not again. I said, what's up? And she said, nothing's up. I've not met anybody, She was still a bit sad about the ex not leaving his wife for her and all that type of thing. And I said, look, I told you everything I can last time. I said, I told you last time what you have to do. She said, can I have another reading? And I was like, oh God, here we go again. So she sits down again, and the other woman that's with her turns out to be her daughter. So her daughter's kind of like mid-30s. And her daughter sits quietly to the side while me and her mother, my client, pretty much go at it again. And finally, I kept turning the cards again, and the cards kept saying the same thing. They kept saying bird stars, which is internet, bird stars letter, which is talking on the internet, man, heart, love. I said, look, your cards are telling you the same things as I told you last time. You're going to meet someone through social media. It's going to be through social media. It's not going to be through you meeting someone at the club or just walking down the street and meeting someone. You're going to meet him through social media. Again, she did not want to hear that. She doesn't like social media. She had an iPhone, but she wasn't very good with apps. So what happened was I said to her, look, I'm not talking to you anymore. I said, you've already come, this is your third time, and every time you've come, you've argued with me, right? I said, I'm over it. I'm really, really over it. I turned to the daughter and I said, listen to the daughter. Now the daughter was quiet throughout the whole situation, just sitting there quietly. I said, do you want your mum to be happy and find a nice man? And she said, oh yes, I do. I said, yeah, I can imagine. She needs something to distract her, right? And this young lady said, oh yes. I said, listen, it's going to be up to me and you now, because she is not going to make it happen. I said, can you help her create an app, get on a dating app and help her set it up and help her start? And the daughter said, yes. I said, get her on to Plenty of Fish or one of those apps, Tinder or something. Said, set her up with photos, set her up with the whole app and get her on there. Right? And I said, will you do that? I said, because I'm telling you, this is where she's going to meet her next partner. I was very, very clear about it. And I said to the daughter, if you can do that and then she'll get used to the idea, that will be the best way. And this woman, the client, kept saying, no, I'm not going to do it. No way, no way. And I said, listen, don't you come back to me unless you've started internet dating. I said, I said, next time there's no reading for you. I'm not doing it. I'm not going to spend an hour arguing with you. It's not worth my time and energy, right? Look, by now, I'd met her 3 times. We talked to her for 3 hours. So it was a bit like, she was kind of my friend, okay? She was kind of like my frenemy by this point. And we could talk very direct with each other at this point. And she was also from a European background. I'm from a European background. She's from like Eastern Europe, and I'm from Southern Europe. But we kind of had this European, like yelling at each other kind of style, and it worked for us. I wouldn't do that with every client, but for her and me, it worked. And I was kind of like her son, kind of, She was about 15 years older than me. So we kind of were this sort of like mother-son point by this point, mother-son or best buddy, best friend vibe, even though we kind of still hated each other as well. It was kind of like a romantic comedy. Anyway, so I said to her, listen, I'm serious. I said, do not come back to me unless you start internet dating. I said, I will not have you in my shop again. I said, it's just too stressful. Anyway, so they went, they paid and they went on their merry way, okay? So what happened was about a month later, 3 or 4 weeks later, she comes back to my shop, this client, and she tells me off big, right? She tells me off big. Apparently what happened was she went on a date on like Tinder, went on a Tinder date, went to some dinner with this guy, and it just ended up being horrible for her, right? She didn't like him, he was a creep, whatever. I said, boo-hoo, so sorry, okay, go back on the internet and do it again. I said, you're not going to get the best one straight away. You have to try a couple, okay? You've got to kiss a couple of frogs before you get to the prince, right? I said, so sad, too bad. Get back on the internet, right? So what happened was we had this, she didn't get a reading that time. I was not having it, right? I was like not entertaining it for a second, right? I said, get back on the internet and go on other dates. Not every date's going to be great. Some of them are going to be bad, right? I said, I don't want to hear it. So she left. She sort of like, pouted and went. Anyway, then I didn't hear from her for about 6 months. So 6 months went by. And one day, again, I see her parking her car and I think, okay, she's coming back for another reading. So I thought 7 months break is okay. I can probably deal with that. This time she came to my door smiling. She was smiling. First time I saw her smile, actually. And I said, oh, you look happy. What's happened? She said, I met someone. I said, oh, really? She said, yes, and I met them on the internet. I said, oh, that's great. She said, and I really, really like him. I said, that's wonderful. I'm really happy about that. So what happened was, I think we might have did a reading at that point. I think it was maybe a 20-minute reading just to check out this guide. And yeah, I think we did because I remember I got all the gossip. Yeah. So what happened was, it turned out that we were in Sydney. I was in Sydney and so was my client. But he was in Byron Bay. He is in Byron Bay, which is Byron Bay is about, what, an hour by plane? Or maybe, yeah, it's about an hour by plane from Sydney to Byron Bay. I might be wrong on the time, but it's about that long, right? Anyway, so basically she would not have met him if she just dated in Sydney. She met him because he was online and he lived in Byron Bay, and he flew down to Sydney to meet her. And they had a dinner and they had a coffee and whatever, and it was really nice, and they both liked each other and they started dating. So another year goes by. So after she told me that she was dating him and I was happy for her and all that great stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, so he was married and divorced, and he had children. He had, I think, 3 children, but they were all in their 20s, or sort of maybe 30s even. And he lived in Byron Bay. He had his own house in Byron Bay. He was an artist and a musician and a photographer. That was his job when he was younger. She's also a very creative woman. She does painting and she does drawing, so they had a lot in common. She was also into fashion and he's into photography, so they had a lot in common. And basically she went, he visited her in Sydney, visited her family. She went to Byron Bay, visited his family, and they, went back and forward, that kind of thing. Anyway, about 8 months after that, she came back to my shop with him to introduce him to me. And for him, he said to me, thank you, because of me, I got them to meet. And I said, you're very welcome. And I said, it was really hard work, but we did it. And he said, yeah, I could imagine. So it was a very happy ending, right? Then what happened was they got married. So they were very happy. The families were great together. They blended really well. And then she went to live up in Byron Bay. And Byron Bay, by the way, is a very beachy, beautiful, foresty, beachy, tropical sort of part of Australia. It's beautiful. So they lived in Byron Bay for, I think, a year. And then they both decided to move to New Zealand. So, and she let me know all this too. She kept in contact every time, they were doing something. She let me know. So it was really wonderful. So that was my Crazy Karen video part 3. And sometimes these stories can end very happily. So I was really pleased for her. She was very happy, and the family were very happy. And he was a really nice guy, really, really gentle guy, and they were all really happy, and it worked out really well. So this is Paris Debono of the Fortune Teller Shop. Thanks for listening. And I will do some more Crazy Karen videos shortly. Bye-bye. Thanks for the hearts. Bye. See you later.